So reportedly, after the Carter won, there was a chance for him to potentially get signed to Roc-a-fella, according to Jay-Z and Lil Wayne. I think some other people might be sources for it as well. But what do y'all think would happen to the rap game if Lil Wayne, after Carter won, had went ahead and signed to Roc-a-fella?
Yeah. Thought that was your block. My niggas ran that. Them niggas big pussy. Pass me a 10 packs. Selling that powwow. I got that anthrax.
No way Lil Wayne is what he ends up being today. Not a shot.
He definitely.
Not a chance in hell. Jay-Z would have devoured that nigga, no homo. Like, for sure. He would have gotten Lil Wayne the fuck up out of here, because I think I think Jay-Z, you hate to say it, but he's such an animal when you talk about like business. Right? And he would have been able to sniff out the potential competition there so early. He would have been able to sniff that out so early. So like, whether it's, the partnership with the NFL, whether it's, the whole fallout with Dame, Jay-Z has proven himself a very shrewd deal maker. And so I can't envision a label where you have two headliners like that. Like at the time that that Lil Wayne was considered the best rapper in the game, it was only that way because really Jay-Z had taken a step back from music to a certain degree, right? It wasn't, I'm thinking probably like Carter 3 Wayne, Carter 4, somewhere in there is when people really start anointing Lil Wayne as the best rapper in the game. All of that post-Drought 3. So I feel like there's no way you would have gotten the type of push that Wayne got. Definitely not getting his own label. So, Young Money, there is no Young Money.
I would say when Roc Nation started, which will probably be around at least 07, 08 at the earliest probably, Wayne would have dropped Carter 2 and Carter 3 in that time under Roc-a-fella.
Under Roc-a-fella.
Mm-hmm. And
at that time, Jay-Z would have been on Kingdom Come.
He would have released Kingdom Come and American Gangster, maybe.
American Gangster.
How does Wayne have the birth to become what he ended up being by Carter 3, right? Because now you on the label with Jay-Z, mixtape rap is not, the droughts were great, but they were able to breathe because he was a number one act making mixtapes, as opposed to being second or third on the totem pole making mixtape rap.
Now here's the thing about that though. He was making the mixtapes basically outside of the label. So like those weren't the label pushing those. So he would have been making those arguably regardless.
He's a headliner. He's the number one guy. He's not the number one guy if he's at Roc-a-fella.
He wouldn't have been the number one guy. Think about it though. If that would have happened, he would have been an afterthought. There would be no Young Money. There would be no Drake. There would be no Nicki. None of that shit had he signed to Roc-a-fella, dog. None of that would have happened because he would have been on the shelf.
I don't think they would have flat out not came out. Like Drake probably would have fucking signed to Kanye or something like that. That shit would have been crazy. But like they probably would have popped because remember Nicki popped with Gucci. She didn't pop with Young Money. She popped with 1017 and all them niggas. Yeah, so she probably would have popped, but she probably would have stayed in the like the hood rapper lane as opposed to the bubblegum Barbie doll stuff, because that shit all came with Wayne. Mm-hmm. She probably would have been a different rapper. Drake, it's hard to call it, man, because I feel like just like you were just talking about with Jay-Z and Rihanna, the validation point, that is 1000% what happened with Lil Wayne and Drake, and it was such a seamless like passing of the torch. Do y'all ever y'all read anything about the 48 Rules of Power or something like
Yeah,
that stuff. So like how Drake kind of deferred so much to Wayne to the point where people started admiring him more for it. Almost to the point where they admired him more than Wayne for how much he deferred to Wayne.
Drake arguably still defers to Wayne. Like he's still like, oh yeah, Dwayne Carter, he's my, you know what I mean? Like he still does that shit to this day.
For sure. And there's strength in
Gave him a
that too.
chance.
Yep. You never give him a reason to try to crush you or push you down until it's already too late and there's nothing he can do about it. You've already dwarfed him. I don't think that would be a possible a relationship with Jay-Z and Wayne.
So let me ask y'all about two other scenarios that kind of work with this. First of all, the whole Baby and Lil Wayne situation probably doesn't happen in this situation because Carter 2 and Carter 3 are then under Roc-a-fella. And, you know, all the other music is under Roc-a-fella, which those also technically have a completely different sound, mind you, because he's working with completely different producers like Just Blaze and niggas like that. So that's completely separate. But the whole Baby and Lil Wayne situation probably wouldn't have happened at that point. So does Lil Wayne maybe become a bigger star because of that? Does he not get arrested? There's several things that happen kind of in that time bubble that I just wanted to know what y'all thought about.
Y'all think Baby was gonna let his cash cow go? Y'all think Baby was really gonna let his?
But was he his cash cow at that time after Carter won?
Who else was doing anything? Who else was doing anything at Cash Money but Lil Wayne? Juvenile had fallen off by then. I think BG and Turk was in jail. Currency, I think was still with no limit, was doing whatever with no limit.
He was just about to,
before he went to Young Money. Yeah, he was about to be there, but Currency wouldn't be in the picture. I'm trying to think of who else. Yeah, fam. Birdman would not have let his cash cow up that easy.
Are we assuming that he did? Are we assuming that he got poached and he got on Roc-a-fella? Is that the assumption that we're operating under? So then if we're assuming that, then yeah, the whole spat with Baby and then, you know, him interjecting Thug into the middle of that with they whole beef and then the holding back of Carter 5, all of that shit doesn't happen. Yeah. It doesn't. I mean, I don't know how the albums are then perceived if you're in like a, instead of being in a Kendrick slot, you like a J-Rock.
You and Isaiah Rashad.
It's not that he wouldn't have been that far. He's not that far down the totem. It'd be like either Schoolboy or J-Rock on TDE. But it's not like top billing. So I don't know how again the albums are going to be received because again the pub is not the same. You also that was a time where music videos were the biggest thing, right? So is he getting the same spin on the radios? Is he getting the same plays on TRL and 106 in Park? Because that was how you got your album sales going. You had the songs playing a million times over and over and over again, enticing people to go buy the music. So without the benefit of being everyone's priority, how were the albums received? The sheer popularity of Wayne's mixtape years is what was able to drive him. It was a combination of him being the number one guy on Cash Money and the fact that his mixtapes were so insanely popular and that music circulates so fast. You know, mixtape rap circulated quick as hell back in 2005, 2006. You know, you could have millions, tens of millions of people listening to an EP that you dropped within minutes. So it's like, you know, I don't know. I just feel like Wayne wouldn't have had the birth. He wouldn't have had the same birth to grow or to elevate if he was on the same label as Jay-Z.
Here's where I disagree, and this is where the scenario that I talked about before comes in, the second scenario. One, like you said, mixtapes were at the time like the biggest thing, and obviously for Wayne, he was one of the biggest mixtape artists out. So because of that, why wouldn't he want to be in the mixtape market of New York when a lot of his biggest mixtapes were coming out? Plus, I feel like there's a trade-off. I feel like, one, Roc-a-fella would probably want to market their new South artists, because Roc-a-fella had never had anybody from the South. Roc-a-fella has only had people from like New York and Philly, besides Kanye and Twista was arguably signed to Roc-a-fella. But everybody else was from New York and Philly. So like I have to feel like they would try to make a push to be like, look, this is our, our South person. This is like our Roc-a-fella South kind of. But I don't know how that would affect the music, because I feel like Lil Wayne wouldn't have made some of the music. Obviously, Carter 3 wouldn't even sound like what it sounded like. And I feel like he would have probably, I feel like it would have been like a New York down south hybrid. So the music, I don't know if it would have, it obviously wouldn't have sounded the same, but I don't know if it would have hit as well. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. Maybe also we could have got the Lil Wayne, Joel Santana album, because now they're on the same label.
We probably wouldn't, because they had
originally
that would never happen. Because remember that
originally the thing that was causing that to not happen was they are having label issues, like too many label politics getting into the middle of that. So I think at that point we might be able to get that Lil Wayne Joel's album, because now they're under the same hat. So there's too many things. Like I disagree with you in the sense that he wouldn't be at least somewhere close to where he was. Obviously, being the only person essentially making any kind of money on your label is a better position to be in, because now you're getting the button pushed on you all the time. So that's a plus. That's a plus for Cash Money.
All the time, without a doubt.
Plus for him staying with Cash Money. But I don't know. I do feel like him going to Roc-a-fella could be a decent push for him at some level. So I don't know. The music would just sound different. That's where I'm just like, I don't even know what the music would sound like.
That sounds like the shit that Fabulous been trying to do.
You know what I mean?
Cool,
like
old young nigga.
With Lil Wayne, would Carter 3 sound like Change Clothes? Like what? Like I don't even know. I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like he'd be working with like probably Pharrell a lot more, Just Blade. Like he'd be working with them niggas a lot more, I feel like. So, but what would he make? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Kanye, Neptunes. Yeah, you're right, man. I don't know what that would sound like though.
Would he be the syrup sipping animal?
I don't know.
Would he be the syrup sipping? Would he still have dreads?
I think he would still have dreads. I definitely. I don't know, because Dipset was kind of getting into their little rock star bag at some point. So maybe he could still do the rock star thing. I don't think he would make a rock album like Rebirth. Ew. But I don't know. The music would sound different. Obviously, it'd be a little bit more New York sounding, which I don't know how that would, transcend music. Obviously, I don't think he would be like, he kind of transcended into like pop and shit a little bit more. And I don't know if he would even do that, being that he's with Roc-a-fella.
Glad it didn't
crazy
happen.
Scenario. Yeah, that's a crazy scenario.
Glad
Let us know
didn't
what y'all
happen,
think in the comments, man. Tell us all your what if scenarios. Let us know how you think how this would have played out with Wayne. Always keep us. And then if you have any other what if scenarios, let us know about that too. We'll think about, running some scenarios in our what if series.
Maybe you can make it into a video.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for watching another Back of the Bus Squad episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Want to check out another episode related to this, go ahead and click that video to the left.
And if you want to catch up on some of our other episodes, make sure you click the playlist below.